Hello YouTube, Shock back here again with another video. I know I haven't made a video for a while, but obviously now that Phase 2 of Season of Discovery has finally come out and I managed to play it, get myself to 40 and actually managed to do the new raid Gnomeregan last night, I have decided to do a bit of a, again, enhancement Shaman DPS guide sort of thing, sort of a follow-up from my Phase 1 video, which did quite well, so I'm looking to sort of follow the same structure. In case the video does get way too long, I might chop this up, I might do a part 2, but we'll see. A lot of the topics from Phase 1 are sort of, well, the same really, they don't really change, so I guess we'll be mostly focusing today on some of the new stuff, a bit of details on the new runes, and then do a sort of pre-BIS / beast lists. And then again we'll see what's left for for part 2 really, if anything. So let's kick this off straight away. I'll go over talents real quick. First of all, I will let me do that. Okay, so I got myself here the classic talent calculator. Obviously with Phase 2, we all now have 31 talent points and are able to get into the last point of every talent spec, whichever class really you play. I'm assuming you're here for the Shaman, of course. So we'll do quickly how you should probably build yourself as an enhancement Shaman. There's a few flex spots, so let's just get straight into it. In terms of the first role, and again, this is my biggest disclaimer here before doing all that. In case you only ever want a DPS and play like enhancement only and nothing else, you go the way I'll show you now. And then in the second option or second case where you'd actually want to have a bit of tankiness, a bit more to yourself than just pure DPS, so you're able to pull a shield and like off tank or even main tank if needed. You can also obviously go for the second option I'll show you now. There's a couple of flex spots. However, again, both of those builds are mainly for enhancement. So if you are like full-time tank, you should probably divert from some of the options I'll do now. So going off first here, if you wanna just purely DPS all the time, get yourself the maximum mana. Again, we've said you're not gonna be tanking if you don't want to, so shield spec is not useful. Thunderwind Strike is 5 out of 5 standard. Here you need 5 more points, so likely you'll get enhancing totems. That's just damage increase when you use strength to vert, so why not? Ghost Wolf now at 40. We do have our mounts, so you might not want to get that. However, I more often than not do that. And then the last point here, you can put in two-handed if you want to be testing this one out, maybe doing some PvP with it. But again, the specs change so much when you change your focus from tanking to dual wielding to two-handers to PvP. So again, this is really one of the flex spots alongside the double Ghost Wolf. You can very simply just drop Ultra in Lightning Shield for quote-unquote the biggest damage increase. However, what I believe I'm currently rocking is this setup here, so I am able to equip two-handers. The next 5 points are straight into Flurry, pretty straightforward. From there, you get yourself elemental weapons, and now you're left with 2 more flex spots. So you can double down on the Lightning Shield if you haven't already. What I do like to do is actually get a single point in parry. Now, it's funny because Shamans can't parry by default, which means you need this talent point in order to parry an attack as a tank. So if you would ever do any form of tanking or off tanking, one of the optional points is pretty good in parry. You can also get that point somewhere else as well, so as you can see here, you can take out this bit, and then you can either again go 1 parry, 1 lightning shield, or 1 parry, 1 shield spec, or 1 in anticipation. That's probably 1 dodge, not too relevant. The reason why I'm glossing over weapon totems is because ideally we will not be doing Wind Fury totem. At this stage we do not have Grace of Air agility totem, which means that, to be fair, you can be doing Wind Fury totem without any form of downtime or damage loss to yourself. So again, in case you want to sort of boost up your melees in case there's no pharaohs, you can get the 2 points in this as well, right? But again, I'm doing 1 personally in parry, and I think, well, actually, let's just see what my... Okay, what the fuck is... Why doesn't it let me... Hello? What? Okay, there we go. My god. Okay. Yeah, I believe I'm currently doing the one parry, two-hander, go smooth, and anticipation. I, as you can see, actually have my points in shoot spec. Because again, I thought I might have to off-tanking Gnomer, so I said, okay, let's forego the 5% mana and just get that extra block, which is pretty good. This talent is really good for tanking. So I went for this. Again, you can mix and match how you want to do that. And then just all the way down to the bottom, let's just put 2 points. What did I have? Let's just put one here, doesn't matter. Then 5 points in weapon mastery, straightforward. You get 10% flat damage increase with weapons. That's insane. And then you get yourself Storm Strike. Really, again, as I just explained, there's a couple of flex options in the enhancement tree, but I feel like both enhancement and tanks, we want to get Storm Strike as an extra ability to press. So really, it's a question of moving that parry, shield spec, and intellect, and then anticipation potentially as well. And let me just see what else. Yeah, again, for two-handers, really, if you're two-handed PvE or enhancement shaman, you've managed to get yourself your two-handed rune, which is a pain. Nothing really changes here. You just need that. All the actual damage talents are the same. So that's that. Now moving over to runes. Quick note on runes. I haven't gotten all the runes myself. However, in this phase 2, we don't actually get a whole lot of runes. There's like usually 1 or 2 per class and per spec. Obviously, there's a lot more per class, but if you're like playing a single spec, then you wouldn't feel sort of obliged to farm a whole lot of runes. And for Enhancement Shaman, really the only relevant runes are, first of all, Maelstrom Weapon. This is just straight up, you put it on your belt, you never remove it. This is a talent from later versions of WoW, which basically makes it so your auto attacks and special attacks have a chance to give you a stack of Maelstrom, and then at 5 stacks, your next ability from the one listed here becomes instant and costs no mana. This is straight up damage increase in PvE, simply because every 5th stack you can do a lightning bolt or chain lightning for free. You can also be pumping some heals, so as an off healer, or rather a damage dealer who helps healing on hard fights, this is also pretty useful. Mainly because, again, the mana cost is reduced by 100%, which means at 5 stacks you can be throwing maximum rank healing waves, which, if critting, are probably gonna heal 1.5, 1.6, and basically top up your tank. Or top up yourself if you're questing, if you're doing high level content in terms of like high level quests, which we'll get to in a second. So yeah, that's basically around Maelstrom Weapon. It's just really good, and apparently got hotfixed yesterday. So now it procs off special attacks like Lava Lash and Storm Strike, as well as auto attacks. So that's just extra good, really, right? Moving on onto the other rune that you'd wanna make sure you get is the Spirit of the Alpha. This is Blizzard's way to say, okay, Horde doesn't have Paladins, which means you don't have Salvation, and because everybody is crying about Salvation and Tref, they said, okay, instead of Salvation, we'll give you this. This is a single target buff. You can have only one target per cast, right? So you can only buff a single person if you have this rune, which will always be your main tank, and this simply increases their threat by whooping 45%. This is crazy, this is insane. Every time I've tanked in dungeons while leveling in Scarlet Monastery or anywhere else, as well as in Gnomeregan last night, if I was the tank with this on, nobody's ripping aggro off me. Absolutely no one, no chance. You spam Merge Shock and Flame Shock on cooldown, because you of course have them on separate cooldowns due to Way of Earth. And this, including your Rock Biter, including Spirit of Alpha, just goes crazy threat, right? Like, I don't feel like anyone's gonna rip aggro off you unless you're not doing your rotation and probably not pressing buttons sort of fast enough. And then in terms of other runes, there are a couple more runes that I want to mention here, but they're all really for the other 2 specs, Elemental and Restoration. I believe there is a Power Surge, Flame Shock sort of buff that reduces your Lava Burst, which is in the place of Maelstrom. This is fine. There's a small chance we are doing enhancement with Lava Burst. However, even if you do that, you'd still go with Maelstrom, because Maelstrom also reduces Lava Burst spell speed and mana cost. So even if you do want to do the lava bird build on your gloves, you'd still go with Maelstrom weapon simply because we're dual wielding and getting Maelstrom procs so fast that using the other power surge or something rune is just not worth it. There is another rune which actually is relevant. It's for the boots, and I believe it was reading something like next time you crit with a healing spell, there is like a guardian spawning or something of those sorts that will be healing someone around you. This is good, however, it's good only if you do not need Spirit of the Alpha. So, for example, if your tank is a Shaman that has Spirit of the Alpha, then you don't need to buff anyone with Spirit of the Alpha. You can get this other rune for extra healing. And again, because of Maelstrom, you're able to pump quite a lot of high crit heals. So maybe this is a consideration. However, generally you're not gonna have 2 enhancements in a group. Most often than not, you're not gonna have 2 people able to run Spirit of the Alpha. So again, maybe get that other rune yourself as well. But really, Spirit of the Alpha is what you need because you do a lot of threat. So you want to make sure your tank is holding his aggro. And then the last relevant rune is the actually chest two-hander rune that I do not currently have. It's unlockable via this massive quest chain for killing these dark horses, guardians, whatever they're called. Really like the Nazgûls from World of the Rings. And the issue with this quest is that you need to kill one of those 42 elites in 8 different zones in the world. And obviously in the first few days of Classic WoW, Phase 2, there were a lot of people everywhere. There was competition for those. You need a group. You can complete this in a raid as well. But I went to one of those places and I saw like 25 alliances there, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not playing two-hander for a while. I'm gonna basically let everyone get geared up and leveled up and all that, so I can go in and get my rune without having to wait alliance groups. And then there's a 15-minute respawn timer as well on those riders, the horse riders, whatever, dark riders. So again, feel free to do that if you really want to try the two-hand build. However, I feel like currently for PvE specifically, you're not going to be doing two-hander builds whatsoever. Although the two-hand rune itself is really good. I think on attack it gives you 30% attack speed when you hit with somebody with your two-hander, which is massive, reduces the swing time of your two-hander by a lot, makes you hit a lot more, makes you get a lot more Wind Fury procs. And again, if you do have a two-hander, specifically maybe the one from the Stranglethorn Varley event, or the raid one, the Thermoplug two-hander, then yeah, you can try it, and I'll definitely be doing that as well when I get my hands on a better two-hander as well as the rune itself. Now, moving forward, that was pretty much all about runes, so really I want to get into the juicy part of the video, which will be specifically gearing, sort of pre-BIS list as well as a BIS list, and I'll basically show you my way of getting myself geared up before my raids, before my first raid, and then obviously any other raid afterwards, and essentially how I approach gearing. So let me just move over here, 60 upgrades. Alrighty, then I have 60 upgrades on. Now obviously, again, just very shortly, this is an amazing website. It lets you check items for every single slot, for every single class and spec, shows you where they come from. Really easy to sort of map yourself, your sort of BIS list, and go for it. So the way that this works as well is that once you create a character and you choose its specialization, which is enhancement obviously, it will auto-fill you items in every slot based on what 60 upgrade thinks is the best item for you. Now, this doesn't mean this is your full BIS list, and even if this was your full BIS list, a lot of those items are coming from the raid. They're epics, they're the new crafted items, and you will get those when you get those. There's no point of chasing the BIS list because it either drops or not. If it drops, you need it, great. If it doesn't, then basically what you want to make sure is you have the second best option, so you're pumping as much deeps while you get those so coveted epic items. So the way I do that is I basically do the autofill. I get the quote-unquote full BIS list from 60 upgrades, and then I go into each slot and basically find out the next best option. So if we go straight into it with the head, the first one that shows us the best one is the leatherworking crafted. Third one shown here as well is leatherworking crafted. This is part of the new Gnomeregan raid, of course. I didn't win the item, which I believe gives you the ability to craft these. So I haven't seen any guides on it yet, really. So those you get them when you get them, however you get them. Until then, very simply, Raging Berserker Helm in Scarlet Monastery is just the best option you can get. It gives a lot of strength, it gives a flat critical, so you're not gonna go wrong if you select Raging Berserker Helm, and also very easy to acquire if you level up in dungeons like in Scarlet Monastery. You farm those a lot, you'll get it eventually. For other choices, obviously there is apparently a terroring one. I didn't even know this existed. This is pretty good. 11 strength, 11 agility is basically, I would even say it's probably more damage. No, well, it's not more damage increase because it's less strength than Raging Berserker Helm, and strength is our main stat. And then also one critical, I believe, is around 10 agility anyway. So this is an option. I don't even know if this is available yet, but it might be. And then obviously Gnomeregan drop Artemis Cow in Black Phantom Depths is insane. And then just going straight down, there's a couple more options like the Blacksmithing Barbaric Iron Helm. This is probably, again, if this is not available and you do not get Raging Berserker, Barbaric Iron Helm is probably also something you can very easily go for. 9 Nagi, 9 strength is pretty good. Moving on, neck piece. Obviously the Gnomeregan raid is the drop from the raid. I would say your Pre-BIS is very likely going to be the high-tech choker from Black Phantom Depths. Now, quite unfortunately, there are not a lot of available. Necks, which means if you never got lucky to get this from BFD Phase 1 or you're just starting to play, this might be a bit of a dead slot for you. What you can do instead is, let's check this Eternal Talisman, which gives pretty good stats. It's from a quest requiring level 34, so that's very nice. This is completable, so you can get yourself the crown of, the Eternal Talisman. You can also go for the Scout Medallion. Obviously, this is the improved Warsong Gouge neck from Phase 1, which was capped at, we were capped at 25, so you could get only the first version. Now you can get the second version as well, which requires level 38. However, 11 agility I feel like is not a whole lot, so this might be more of a PvP item due to the stamina, and just basically maybe get that if you can't get any of the above. And then just going down, nothing really worth mentioning, so just focus on those. I'm assuming most of you already have Warsong leveled up. If not, just go for the quest one, right? Should be fairly easy. Shoulders is pretty funny because the best shoulders are in the raid, of course, supposedly. I don't even know if this is the best one, but it gives it as the best one. 12 agi, 22 attack power is quite a lot. However, what you can gun for is Failed Flying Experiment Shoulders. This is insane. 10 strength, 10 agi is really good. This is from the Chicken Robot Escort quest in Feralas, which has ridiculous drop rate. Like I've killed like mobs there, maybe 300-400 mobs I've killed in a span of 4 or 5 hours, and I never saw it. I was completing another quest I'll get to in a short second, but this is basically the best option, and as you can see here, it even puts it above another Gnomeregan drop as well. So this might as well be the best shoulder available for us, and it's just really lucky to get the drop, and then you'll find the group pretty easy because there's loads. Going down though, there is a BOE, probably cost a lot of money. Another BOE, which likely again will cost a lot of money. And then moving forward, there's the Blacksmithing Barbaric Shoulders. These are good as well. Chest Strength, Chest Agi is respectable. Flesh Hide Shoulders, I'm actually currently rocking with those. This is from Razorf and Down, drop from a boss. This is good to grab if you're able to. And then of course, somewhere very down are Herald Shoulders. These are the best looking shoulders, not gonna lie to you. I love them. I think I might even be with them in game. No, okay, I'm with the other piece, but they're insane. They look very nice. I'm using those for PvP due to the stamina, and really I have them on as well when I want my hero to look like nice instead of with the other ones, but they're not great. And to be fair, even Bristleback Amis from Phase 1 gives you more DPS stats. So really what you should be focusing again is either farm the chicken, get yourself the crafted, or or farm, where is it? Farm Razor Fan Downs for Flesh Hide Shoulders, which are also pretty good. Okay, let's select these. Moving down, we have the PvP cape from the Strangleton Valley event. This is supposedly just the best one, simply because the flat one crit with both spells and attacks. Oh no, wait. Oh yeah, both spells and attacks is really good. This essentially is equivalent to above 10 agility, as well as I don't know how much, but probably above 10 or so. Actually, probably more. I don't know the coefficient for intellect to spell crit, but again, this is essentially 10 agility plus whatever intellect equals 1 spell crit. And as you know, Enhancement Shaman does a lot of abilities, all the shocks, the Maelstrom, lightning bolts, all of that. So that's really good. If not, then you obviously have the raid items. You have a BOE which costs like 300 gold. There is a Hawkeye cloak. This was about 10 to 15 gold, I believe, last time I checked it. This is really good. And then if not, you just go down to Sergeant's Cloak from PvPing in phase 1, or if not, you can PvP now as well, get it. I think this is at rank 3. So this Sergeant Cloak is altogether all around really good item due to the massive amount of stats it gives you. But if you really want to focus simply on attack and on damaging, of course, maybe you go with one of the above. And the Strangleton Valley items are actually really easy to get, so let's just keep this as the previous. And really probably just BIS altogether, right? Going down chest piece. Chest piece, I will say the best chest piece in the game is probably this bit. Let me just see. Okay, so this is from a quest available at level 40, but it's a high level quest, probably requiring you to kill level 50 or 40 something, 50 mobs. You cannot solo this, you need a group. I have not went for this. What I instead done myself is actually farm the Gelkis Marauder chain. This is pretty good as well. 14 strength, 7 agi is really good. The quests and the way you get this item is actually easy. Probably takes about an hour and a half. You need a bit of reputation with the Gelkis Centaur clan in Desolace. You do a bunch of quests, or specifically you do the quest shown here, of course. So you complete this quest, and the last bit is a bit harder because it needs a drop item from the Centaurs here. It's very low drop rate. And after that you need to summon an elite and kill it. The elite comes with bodyguards. I did this once, I died, then I had to farm the summoning item again, really bad. So basically what you want to make sure is that once you get the drop, you get a couple of friends over, maybe even one single one, and they help you like summon the boss and kill him. And this piece is really good. I was lucky enough to get Electromantic Chainmail last night from the raid. If not, I would have been rocking with this, and it's just really simply really good. You can also even make a debate that this Honor Guard chest piece, like, it has more strength, so and overall it has more attacking stats, 22 strength versus 21 strength and agi on the Gelkis chain. However, again, if this also requires a crazy amount of questing in high level zones, simply not worthwhile. So get yourself the Gelkis chain, and the high level questing will go into a second because there is something you probably need to do, and it's a pain in the ass. Moving on, wrists. So the PvP one are the best one. This is from phase 1, Warsong Exalted. Everyone that have it, perfect. Grats, mate, you farmed a lot. I personally am salty because I stopped farming it. I'm at Revered. I didn't care too much about this. And then also when the phase came out, apparently the chain quest to get yourself Maelstrom weapon gives you these Storm Chaser bindings, which are basically the exact same item minus 7 agility. So that's what, 0.6, 0.7 crit. So in reality, this is your Pre-BIS. This is insanely easy to get. If you have the Warsong, sure, that's more like BIS option. For Pre-BIS, it will definitely be Storm Chaser bindings. The one thing to note here is that this quest gives you the choice between those bindings as well as a caster spell hit bindings, or bracers really. So you gotta really make sure that you never want to go elemental, because if you want to go elemental, I'm not sure there's another bracer in the game that gives you spell hit, which probably again, if you have all the spell hit and like all the best gear, probably makes the equivalent of the Storm Chaser, you know, the one with spell hit that I'm speaking about, probably makes it the BIS item for Elemental. So make sure if you're getting this, you're not gonna regret it. I'm almost already regretting it because I wanted to try Elemental as well, and the spell hit item is like really good, but I've already chosen this. So Storm Chaser is your Pre-BIS, nice and easy. We'll do weapons in a second. Moving on to the other side of items here. Gloves of Holy Might. This is the best option because of why? Because of a lot of attack power and critical. What comes next is very simply Gauntlet of Divinity in Scarlet Monastery. This is like probably your second best option. Now it is almost debatable whether Void Touched leather gloves from phase 1 are on par or better, because these give you a hit with both melee and spells. They also give you this insane 10-minute cooldown, which is really good. Attack speed is really good. However, they don't give you any attack power, they just give you a bit of agi. So potentially Gauntlets of Divinity might outscale those. They're also on melee as well, so if that really matters for PvP specifically, you definitely go with Gauntlets of Divinity. So I'd say they're on par. Maybe even for PV, the hit actually comes on top of the extra attack power, so you can do either or. But in all cases, this is very easy to get farming Cathedral, so let's just put these in. For belt, there's a raid one, there is an engineering raid one, there's a raid one. You can go with the Defiler's belt here from PvPing in Arati Basin. However, why do I feel nobody's gonna have this farm to Honored 5 days into the expansion? So I can't really call this Pre-BIS. What I can call Pre-BIS is Board Champion belt. This is from Razor and Down. The issue with this item, however, is that it's from a rare, which means that not only you need to see the rare, you also need to get the item to drop, and ideally you made yourself your own group and nobody needs it, but if there's any warrior, they're pressing need on it as well. So you know, this is probably very tiresome to get. What I'm currently rocking is Tark's Shoelace. This gives you 13 strength, so if you compare it to the boar, it's just 2 strength less and some stamina you don't really care about. And this is a quest item. This is a very easy Dust Swallow Marsh quest item. Probably do the quest in 10-15 minutes. Kill a bunch of 40 to 43 level mobs. It will take some time, but yeah, that's just, I'd probably say, yeah, let's just put the other one. Like, let's put Board Champion's belt as Pre-BIS. However, I feel like Torque's Shoelace is just as good. Moving on, pants. There's almost nothing to discuss here. Scarlet leggings give you 20 strength. There's hardly anything that gives as much strength or equally attack power or damaging stat like agility. And then the other 2 items are from the raid, right? So just put yourself your Scarlet leggings. Farm yourself armory, guys. You get yourself the head, the pants, the shoulders, which are bad, but they look amazing and are for PvP, I'd say good. And then you can also get Ravager, the 2-hander axe that makes you spin in circle, which, you know, if you get the PvP, the 2-hander rune, then maybe that's good enough. Maybe for cleaving and trash, maybe for farming dungeons. In all cases, farm armory and just get yourself all 4 items of the last boss. Very easy. Moving on, boots. The best boots in the game are a world drop. Funny. 10 agility, 9 strength. Then there's a couple of raid items, so these are the tier sets, and right after comes the next very easy quest to get, or very easy quest reward to get Excelsior boots from a quest chain in Strangletorn Valley. You can check this one yourself, guys. It's very easy quest chain. You do basically the Croclisk chain quest, where you kill some Croclisk for their skin, then you do it again, then you do it again, and then you beat the main elite Croc next to Gromgo, and you get yourself insanely good DPS boots. Going over in the ring slots, Legionnaires band. This is the PvP one from Honored, the upgraded level 38 one. This is just crazy. This gives too much stats. Now again, I know people might just be starting WoW or phase 2, they might have not PvP'd at all, so they might not have this reputation sorted. However, I can't put anything else but Legionnaire's Band as the first choice because it's just really good. And then going into the second slot, obviously this is the raid item. There's a world drop item that costs a lot of gold. There's a second one that costs a lot of gold. Then there's Thunder Brawl Ring from phase 1, which is a BOE. You probably need to check the price on this if it has dropped reasonably, so you buy it off for like a couple goats. 8 strength is good, it's a lot. 3 agi is also good on top. However, if you're not able to purchase any of those, your next options would be the level 28 equivalent of Leader's Band, and yes, you can equip them both. Or Iron Spine's Eye from the rare in Scarlet Monastery Graveyard. This I actually got it, but I'm playing double Legionary's Band because we value Enhancement Shaman's value of strength more than Agi. So generally speaking, if you have 6 strength and 2 Agi, or 6 Agi and 2 strength, you go with the 6 strength, right? So from that sense, I'm going with the band, but Iron Spine is a good option. There's a world drop here that costs a whole ton of gold, and then Band of the Iron Fist is the quest from BFD. So, you know, there's actually a lot of rings which are available. Like even the level 18 version of Legionnaire's Band gives you a decent amount of damage stat. Although if you obviously buy this, you buy just the other 2 versions. So from that sense, I'll just slot both bands here. And you guys try to work yourself towards getting the BOEs. Or worst case, just make sure you have Band of Iron Fist from the quest in BFD and anything else alongside it, and that would be good. Trinkets, Avengers Pearl is from BFD quest in phase 1, the item drop from the last boss. This is simply just the only option you can use. Good stuff is that in phase 2 you can actually do BFD very fast. People do it for XP, they don't really need all the items anyway, so in case you haven't gotten that item yourself, maybe do yourself a group, maybe even hard reserve the Void Pearl from the last boss. But in all cases, this is simply the best option you can get. It just gives you flat attack power, so you can't really go wrong with it. And then moving down in terms of the second trinket slot, there's a couple of options here. Oh, well, actually, no, there's not a whole lot of options. So the first item is the Gnomeregan trinket, which you might not be able to get, right? This is Pre-BIS. Moving down though, what else you can get? A fishing item, yeah, that's not gonna happen. Arena Grandmaster, this is really defensive trinket and PvP trinket, and you're gonna go through hell to get that. A couple of combobulators here, carrot on a stick. Is this obtainable? Nah, we can't kill Gazriwa. Okay, this is not obtainable. What the fuck? I guess Mark of Chosen in Marrowdown quest as well. This is probably not obtainable either. So really, what you need to do to find the next best thing is... why do I not find it? It's the PvP... What? Okay, that's weird. I'll show you in game. So the other trinket I'm speaking about is Rune of Protection. So this is again PvP Warzone Gulch item, however available at friendly, so very easy to get. I'm currently with the level 20 version because I didn't buy the level 40 version, but you can buy that instead. It's 7 stamina and 20 spell resistance decrease, and the spell resistance decrease is actually valuable. It's relevant. You do a lot of spells, so getting resist on your spells is not great, especially if you're a tank, and for tank maybe this is just the best option due to the stamina as well. But in all cases, this actually provides you damage increase, or rather, well, it is a damage increase if your spells are not resisting, so there you go. The only other worthwhile mention is the STV item, or the STV trinket for shamans, which that was the first item I bought in STV because I thought, okay, that might be decent, and then it looks like complete crap. This just basically, let me just use it. I'll show you. You just press the button and then in a second you explode, dealing 150 AoE damage. This is negligible. This is not a whole lot. I don't even know if this should be played in the raid for single target bosses. I did last night play the raid with it. It's an epic item, and I farmed the stupid STV event for it. However, now in hindsight, I'm thinking that maybe the way to go was just with the other two. So with the Avengers and then obviously the improved or the equipped, the better Rune of Perfection. However, yeah, get yourself this. This is also, I guess, decent for PvP because it's insta damage you can do. For AoE trash as well, obviously deals damage to all targets around you in 10 yards. so that's also, I guess, decent for AoE farm. There's a couple of AoE bosses in Gnomeregan, so you know, consider this. So this is with the trinkets. I will just put in here the sure what. Oh, there's another. Yeah, that's the other trinket that heals a target. Okay, that's like, see here, they're both the same in terms of how good they are, which means that this is really bad, but you know, ignore. The totem is the BFD totem, no choices there. So weapons, and then I think as the video is getting quite long, we will be cutting it over here. However, for weapons, and we're now specifically speaking about one-hander, so let's disable two-hander options. Weapons are hard. Weapons will be hard for us to get because there's a lot of options, there's a lot of raid drops, but none of the items obtainable before getting into the raid are either good or easy to get. So what do I mean? If we start going here in the list of items available, let's see where's the first one that sort of catches our eye. Make a torque epic, sure, that's in the raid. BOE, oh sorry, BOP from was that a quest or a guy you need to kill? Yeah, this is a level 53. This is the quest for Zulfarak. Yeah, you're not doing that. Probably not doing that unless you have a raid to help you do it. Plus it's a dagger, and you know, we're not fans of daggers, even though the damage per sec is insane. Heaven's Light, really good. Slow main hand hammer with loads of stat on it. Probably costs like 300 gold. Raid item. BOE, raid item. BOE from Udaman. This probably costs another 200-300 golds. So the first item that we reach that you guys can go in obtain right now without spending any money on is Force of the Hippogryph. Now, Force of the Hippogryph is a quest item from a quest chain in Ferolas, which is painful to say the least. This took me about 4 hours, and this is considering I farmed the quest. The quests basically involve killing like 100 plus mobs in Ferolas, getting some drops that are insanely not easy to get. From then on, basically you need to do another quest chain, which is killing again a whole lot of mobs in Ferolas as well as in Hinterlands. Let me just open you the quest, right? So the quest requires those two chains. Natural Minerals is the drop one in Ferolas. This takes you 2 to 3 hours probably. Maybe less than 2 hours if you're really fast. However, this involves killing level 44 mobs or level 45 mobs. Level 45 are red to us, and you basically deal no damage to them. You can kill one as enhancement because Maelstrom weapon on every 5 stacks heals you to full with healing wave. However, it's a pain. So what you want to do is find the mobs that drop those quest items and try find their counterparts which are not level 45 but level 44 or level 43, which are much easier to kill. What I would recommend you guys, farm the dragons here for the encrusted minerals. They're 43, 44. Okay, that's good. Then you need to farm hippogriffs here. They drop both metallic fragments and resilient sinew. However, they are level 45 and level 46 down in the south, and then they're level 43 and level 44 over here in the north side. So obviously you farm the north side, the south side, the level 45, 46 is not worth it. They might kill you, you might aggro too many, you might not even be able to kill them if you don't have some pretty good gear already. So ignore the bottom ones, farm the top ones. It's a pain. You need to get 40, and these 40 they don't drop off every single guy you kill, so that's what, maybe 50-60 mobs at least, hippogriffs for those two items. And then finally it's the splintered log, which drops from a wandering tree. There is one wandering here. I've killed it twice. There is one, and then also the splinter log is 100% drop chance, so at least that's that. There's one wandering here, there is one wandering here, there's one here, and then there's one also here. I think there might be one over here as well. Maybe. In all cases, the trees are 44 or 45. So, and they respawn in each spot I've shown every 6 minutes. So you either sit in one spot at the bottom while farming hippogriffs, and that way you just kill 2 trees and you're done. The issue again is if it randomizes the tree to be level 45, might take you a while, you might struggle, but again, generally speaking, you should be able to do it. And before you guys say, okay, was that it all? This is actually the easy part, because the second part of this quest is the Musiek quest chain. The Musiek quest chain is straight up retarded. You need to kill multiple mobs and then use an item on their corpse, starting with mobs in hinterlands. So you need to get yourself to hinterlands. Yes, you need to get yourself to hinterlands to get the Wildkin Musieks. And in hinterlands, let me show you in game. There are Wildkin, Wildkin, was it? Yeah. There are these Wildkin mobs everywhere here. They're boomies, right? The birdies. The ones over here are level 42, so they actually die very easy, sure. But then the ones over here are level 45 and 46. And the problem is that you'd obviously want to get yourself the 10 items from the 42 ones. However, there are not a whole lot of those, so you definitely need to be spending some time finding those 10 mobs and killing them. And then on to the next bit is do the same thing for the hippogriffs that you already killed 40 of. So you need to kill 10 more. Then you go for the fairy dragons in the middle, which you've also already killed 6 for the previous chain ride, for the encrusted mineral. And then also you need to kill 3 more trees for the tree Musiek. So those are again the same ones that they've shown, spawn in a couple of places. That will take you a bit of time. And then finally, the worst part of this entire quest chain is that you now need to kill 7 giants in Feralas and loot their items, or use the item provided to get those Musiek items, right? Or however you spell this, Musiek. Okay, sure. Now the problem with this is, first, they're level 49 and level 50 elites. I think a couple of them might be level 51 because they were skull. And then 2, so obviously by saying that they're 49, 50, 51 elites means you can't solo them. There is no class that can solo this mob. They have like 14k HP and almost every single attack or ability resists. So you cannot solo that. And the second worst part of this is that even if you find a group with dedicated people doing this quest, every single person needs to get the drop by himself, right? So because the way this works is you kill the giant, you kill the giant and then you use the provided item on the corpse of the giant, and the corpse disappears, which means you kill one mob, only a single person in your group gets credit for it or gets the quest item, which means that in a group of 5, for everyone to complete the quest, you need to kill 35 giants. We did a group of 4 with a shaman, with another enhancement shaman, which shamans for this is very nice because even if everything is resisting, you get Maelstrom stacks, which means that you can basically off heal on every single 5th Maelstrom for a full healing wave insta-cast. And if you're 2 of you, you might even be able to do this entire quest chain and kill only 14. But again, we did it a group of 4. We had to kill 28 of those, and this took a long time. Also, not a whole lot of people are on this quest chain, so once you get here, you need to find people, so this might take a while. And why you're doing all this is to obtain Force of the Hippogryph. This axe is crazy. I feel like this is insane. I got in raid yesterday Ultrasonic Vibroblade, and if you see, this axe has the exact same damage per second like the Force of the Hippogryph, which is and Ultrasonic is the raid item. It's a bit slower. It has a nice armor lowering debuff, which is also very useful for shamans and just the entire raid in general. Increases melee damage to boss. And then obviously Force of Hippogryph instead of the proc has 9 agility, which is also really good. That's like almost 1% critical. So in a way, I want to say Force of the Hippogryph is almost mandatory if you want to perform as a shaman. At the same time though, I did not get this before I went into Gnomeregan, and I got 100 on the Electrocutioner boss. I was rank 1. When I killed the boss, I was the highest damage dealing enhancement shaman in the world on this boss. You don't need this item, but you might as well do it, because if you're already 40 and you've done the raid, there's nothing to do. Next week also there's 7-day lockout on Gnomeregan, so it's not 3 days, like it will become. So in the meantime, you might as well farm this. But yeah, it's painful. I don't want to speak anymore about this item. I will put Force of the Hippogryph in the main hand, and you have to do that, or get some replacements. So a replacement would be the Weapons of Spirit Feralaf's quest chain. This is in the same quest chain, so you can't get both. You choose one of them. Great. There is a Searing Blaze quest for another very slow axe with strength. We don't like slow axes, and I personally haven't checked this quest, but this looks like another 52 quest. So good luck. This is probably not worthwhile. Then there's a couple of BOEs, which as in phase 1 will cost a whole lot. This is insane. It's very fast, but it gives you strength, and it's the exact same, well, damage per second like the other axe I've just shown. However, this might cost a lot of money. Then there is another drop from a guy, I think a rare or elite in 1000 needles. Yeah, good luck on this BOE. Another BOE, another BOE, BOE, BOE. And the first other item you hit is the Warsong Revered Dagger at 1.7 speed, which you don't want to do. I'll explain in a second the weapon enhancements, but we are doing Queen Fury in our main weapon, so you want your main weapon to hit hard, and daggers do not hit hard. So this might be good for offhand, but again, I wouldn't recommend. Then we're on to another BOE, which is not bad. Then on to another BOE. This is actually the BOE I choose to buy. So I went in the raid with this in my main hand, because I said, okay, so this costed 12 gold. It's a slow axe, so Wind Fury will hit a lot. The proc is probably irrelevant, but good to have. And just overall, pretty good axe, especially to get us started, and especially considering this costs like 10-15 gold, everything above costs like 100. So yeah. And then on to the next one. Cold Rage Dagger in Razor Fendown is actually what I did in my offhand. And now this is really good. Like, I know this is a dagger, and I said you don't want daggers in main hand, but in the offhand, even if your Lava Lash is not gonna do as much as it can in terms of damage, this is level appropriate, level 39, drop from a boss in a dungeon you can farm, that only rogues need, that does almost 30 damage per second, so this is a lot. It has a really good proc, which actually procs a decent amount, I would say, which is basically Frostband on our weapon, right? So it slows, it shoots a Frostbolt, and again, relatively easy to get. And then if you're foregoing this now, you can go for a Quest Dagger in the Swallow Marsh, which I wouldn't recommend, just better off getting the Cold Rage. And then if not, they're level 37 axes from Blacksmithing. I'm assuming this is available in game. I have not checked. And the axe is actually on the weaker side in terms of no damage stat and only 24.1 damage per sec. However, it's not bad. The way I want to wrap this for you guys is that what I did for my first raid is I went with Stalvan Reaper and then Cold Rage Dagger. This is how I did my first Gnomer. I got 100 on the Electrocutioner boss, and this was decent. Then what I now got from the raid is actually Ultrasonic Vibroblade. So what I did as soon as I got the Ultrasonic Vibroblade is I actually put this in my offhand. So I went like that. So really slow main hand, really, well, not slow, but not very quick offhand, which is good because it will proc the effect more. So you don't want to switch those. You want the slower one in main hand. And now, after I've done the raid, I have now completed the Force of the Hippogryph, which is straight up better Stalvan Reaper. Yes, it's slower. However, since the top end damage is actually more than Stalvan Reaper, this means your Storm Strike, this means your auto attacks are not gonna become less powerful because you're now with a, like if you put a dagger here, 1.5, it will hit very fast, same DPS, but you see smaller numbers. Your crits are not gonna be as good, and your Storm Strike is gonna suck because of course Storm Strike hits with both weapons now. So you have two daggers, Storm Strike hits like a noodle. So instead, Now that I have Force of the Hippogryph, I'm putting this in my main hand and I'm putting Vibroblade in the offhand. And this basically rounds me with 2 weapons, 30.4 damage per sec. Very quick, almost synergized in terms of attack speed, which would have been crazy. And I feel like this is how I'm gonna be rocking. Of course, until you guys are able to get a better, a raid axe or mace, or maybe until you are able to afford like a better BOE. You can go with, as I mentioned, Cold Dagger, or again, if one of the axes here is cheap, Sickle Axe, Fight Club, Stalvan Reaper. The one above are not gonna be cheap, but again, maybe you can get actually Prolonged Reaver. This is actually not bad as well. Strength and a decent damage per sec is also fine from Razorf and Crow, but I'll go with the dagger in the meantime. So this is, guys, the sort of damage or rather, sorry, item set that I wanted to show you, the way that I've approached this. There's a lot of other options as well, as you can see. I know I might have missed a couple, but there's decent items in every single slot. What you want to make sure is focus on strength, focus on weapons. I would farm Razor Downs for Cold Rage, or I will do the Feralast quest if I have a bunch of mates. And also, I guess something that I forgot to mention is Hand of Righteousness. The healing mace from Cathedral is actually pretty good damage per sec. It doesn't have any form of offensive stats. However, as well, in the meantime, you can actually be using this in your main hand, and this is not going to be terrible. This will not be terrible. It's not an axe. I guess if you're not an orc, you don't care, but again, it's not an axe. It's not as good, but it's pretty decent. So guys, I think, ooh, I've been disconnected as well. So guys, I think I'll be cutting it here, because this is probably now getting to a 30 to 40 minute video. Do let me know what else you want to hear for in terms of guides. Do a rotation guide, which hasn't changed a whole lot, although we now have Storm Strike. I'll definitely be loading up onto the after the next reset. I'll load up a YouTube video with a Gnomeregan POV. I'll also want to make sure I get some better parses, just because I'm just crazy and I like performing, so I like to push buttons. So basically, I do want to make sure I improve on some of those. You can see here the Electrocutioner I managed to get. I was rank 1, but yeah, whatever. We didn't get a log on this because I was dead and I released, so we didn't record it on my logs. And then on the last 2 bosses, I was full-time off tanking and healing. But why I'm showing you this is to show you guys that we can do some good damage. Now, obviously, if you go into Warcraft logs and you go into damage meter charts, you are not gonna see Enhancement Shaman anytime soon. However, I wouldn't get myself tilted in any shape or form, because first of all, the fist weapon from Mechatork is insane. It will improve our damage a lot once we get that, of course. Of course, other people will get better items as well, but I'm saying that the fist weapon is crazy, the proc is insane, the damage is insane. Also, people will learn better how to do the bosses. Also, what I want to mention is that I died after the first boss, which means I didn't have any form of world buff. So what you see here is my competitive damage from pulling bosses with only self buffs and raid buffs. I did not use consumables on any of the kills, including Electrocutioner, and we didn't have world buffs. And funnily enough, on Electrocutioner specifically, there is this thing that pushes you back, this mechanic, which I was completely oblivious to, and I was getting pushed every time he did it, so I was losing like a couple of auto hits every time he did the mechanic, instead of stuck on the wall, so you get pushed into the wall and just keep smashing the boss. So this could have easily been another 30-40 damage on top from not playing like a retard, and then maybe another 100 or so if you were properly buffed and consumed, which I would imagine everyone on the top charts getting the best parses and the best DPS in general are most likely fully buffed. Maybe not world buffs if their raids died, but I would say most of those people try harding here are popping all consumables on every try, so there's that. Hunters Rejoice, melee hunter is apparently meta, so there's that. Now, yeah, that's all from me, guys. I feel like, again, let me know down in comments below, and as usual, what do you want to see more, what do you want What videos do you want me to do? I know people are looking for a Milestorm weak aura, so do let me know if you need that. I have one pretty good, looks good, works good. And then again, some more content coming for phase 2. I will be doing some more PvP as well. PvP is gonna be fun, two-shotting people. And then of course there will be the whole two-hander experiment to try as well. So I need to get the tune, and then I'll probably do a video on how to play two-hander as well, and how to sort of try and min-max it as well, right? That's all from me, folks. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.